India didn't wake up one fine day in 1947 and become free. Our freedom was not a gift. It was the result of nearly 400 years of struggle. From traders who arrived as guests, to revolts that shook empires, to movements that united millions. This is the incredible story of how India finally won her freedom. In 1600, a trading company called the East India Company set sail from England. Their goal? Spices, silk, cotton, India's treasures. With polite requests and signed permissions from Indian rulers, they set up small posts in Surat, Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta. At first, they looked harmless, just businessmen. But slowly they began weaving themselves into India's politics. The traders were becoming power players. Then came the decisive blow. In 1757, Robert Clive defeated Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowlah at the Battle of Plassey. It seemed like just one battle, but it opened the floodgates. Bengal's wealth and political power slipped into British hands. With Indian soldiers and Indian money, the company expanded its reach, exploiting rivalries between kings. By the early 1800s, the company controlled most of India, directly or indirectly. But Indians did not remain silent. There were constant sparks of rebellion: the Sannyasi rebellion in Bengal, the Pike uprising in Odisha, farmers and tribals fighting against crushing taxes and exploitation. Each revolt was small, local, and brutally crushed. Yet they planted the seeds of resistance. And then, the fire spread. Indian soldiers, sepoys in the British Army, rebelled. What began with gun cartridges greased in animal fat turned into a massive uprising. Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, all became battlegrounds. For the first time, India had a taste of nationwide revolt. Men and women fought with fierce courage. But without central leadership and unity, the revolt was brutally suppressed. The aftermath was historic. The British Crown now took direct control. Thus began the British Raj in 1858. The Raj brought railways and telegraphs, but only to drain Indian resources more efficiently. Heavy taxes crushed peasants. Famines wiped out millions. Indians were denied high-paying jobs and equal treatment. But amid this suffering, resistance hardened. Farmers rose in the Indigo Revolt. Tribals fought in the Santhal and Munda uprisings. Reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy worked to strengthen society from within. India's spirit refused to die. In 1885, the Indian National Congress was born. At first, its leaders were moderate, demanding reforms, fairness, and education. But then came events that shook the nation. Partition of Bengal, 1905, split communities apart. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre, 1919, where hundreds were gunned down during a peaceful gathering. Indians realized that simple requests would no longer work. The age of mass movements was coming. And at this moment, a new leader emerged, Mahatma Gandhi. His weapon, not guns, but non-violence and truth. The non-cooperation movement, 1920-22, saw millions boycott British schools, goods and courts. For the first time, common people, peasants, workers, students, rose in unity. In 1930, Gandhi walked 240 miles on the legendary Salt March, breaking an unjust law and inspiring millions. In 1942, with the Quit India movement, Gandhi thundered, "Do or die." India was no longer pleading, it was demanding freedom. But Gandhi was not alone. Subhas Chandra Bose raised the Indian National Army, INA, and fought alongside Axis powers in Wattu. In 1946, the Indian naval mutiny shook British confidence as soldiers themselves revolted. Worker strikes, peasant uprisings, all added relentless pressure. India was a ticking time bomb Britain could no longer contain. By the end of World War II, Britain was exhausted. Its economy was sinking, its empire collapsing, and global opinion, especially from the US and the UN, was turning against colonialism. Running India had become a burden they could no longer afford. And so, after nearly 400 years of struggle, India was free. But freedom came with heartbreak. The partition divided the nation into India and Pakistan, leaving behind violence, bloodshed, and one of history's largest mass migrations. Yet amid the pain, a new dawn rose. Independent India was born. India's freedom was not won in a day. It was built on centuries of resistance, by rebels and reformers, by peasants and leaders, by soldiers and visionaries. It proves one truth: freedom is never given, it is taken, with courage, unity, and sacrifice. So the next time someone thinks freedom comes easy, remember India's 400-year struggle. If you want history explained in simple yet powerful stories, hit subscribe.